Now, we've been having some really exciting conversations about women's sports.
Women's tournament up as a separate media rights deal.
The WNBA has just shocked its fans in a way no one could have predicted, with an 11-year media rights deal that secures the league's future on the USA Network. The deal isn't just a win for the league, but a game-changer for the entire landscape of women's sports. The news comes after years of hard work, growth, and constant pushback against the status quo. USA Network, a longtime broadcast powerhouse, will now carry at least 50 games annually, including the playoffs and finals from 2026. But what does this truly mean for the future of women's basketball?
This has been a banner couple of years for women's college sports. We've seen huge ratings in the NCAA women's tournament. Caitlin Clark has been arguably the most famous basketball player right now in either tournament, men or women.
This deal could push the WNBA into the mainstream in a way we've never seen before, and it could elevate the stars of the league to new heights. But will it be enough to overcome the challenges that have plagued the WNBA for years? To understand the magnitude of this deal, we need to look at the context behind it. The WNBA has long struggled with visibility and media coverage compared to its male counterparts in the NBA. While the men's league rakes in billions from its TV deals, the women's game has had to fight for every bit of exposure. The WNBA's previous media deals, which included partnerships with Disney, Amazon Prime, and NBC, marked a historic step in 2024. But this new agreement with Versant and USA Network takes things to a whole new level. This isn't just about airing games. It's about creating a sustained presence. USA Network will now air WNBA games on a weekly basis, solidifying the league's position as a primetime destination. The league's games will no longer be relegated to late-night slots or buried in niche channels. And the stars of the WNBA, they're about to be on display like never before, with Wednesday night doubleheaders and a studio show that will put their stories front and center. But there's more at play here than just media rights. The WNBA is growing fast. Attendance is up, viewership numbers are rising, and the game itself is evolving. However, these successes haven't come without their challenges. The league is in the middle of negotiations with its players' union for a new collective bargaining agreement. As the current deal expires, the league faces mounting pressure to continue improving player pay, conditions, and recognition. The question is, can this new media deal keep pace with the internal pressures the league is facing?
I'm so excited about where women's sports is, and I've spoken to people who are becoming fans for the first time in their lives. I'd love to know, for you two, what's one of the most exciting things you've seen in women's sports recently?
USA Network isn't just broadcasting games, it's setting the stage for the WNBA to reach a broader, more mainstream audience. Think about it. This is a channel that already boasts a strong following for its sports programming, and now it's backing the WNBA, potentially pulling in millions of new viewers. This move is significant for multiple reasons. First, it means the WNBA has locked down a reliable, high-visibility broadcast partner for over a decade. That kind of stability is rare in professional sports, and it gives the league a solid foundation on which to build its brand further. Secondly, USA Network isn't just showing games. They're investing in the WNBA's narrative. The weekly Wednesday night doubleheaders, coupled with pregame and postgame shows, mean the league will have dedicated coverage, giving fans a deeper look into the players and teams they love. The stakes are high. This is a chance for the WNBA to showcase its talent and grow its fan base in ways that were unimaginable just a few years ago. But this deal isn't just about television ratings. It's about positioning the WNBA as a serious contender in the sports media landscape. The deal with Versant is part of a larger strategy to increase the league's financial power, and over the next decade, it's poised to change how we view women's professional sports. But while this deal promises a lot, the real question remains, will the WNBA's new exposure on USA Network—
And yet, you do not put the women's tournament up as a separate media rights deal. Is that going to change? The last deal sort of lumped it in with every other NCAA sport that wasn't football.
Translate into more than just viewership? Will it lead to lasting growth in sponsorships, player recognition, and financial stability? Or will it ultimately be overshadowed by the challenges within the league itself, particularly as the players demand more? Only time will tell. As the excitement around this deal builds, so do the contradictions that make this deal both a blessing and a potential minefield. The WNBA's visibility is skyrocketing, but it doesn't erase the long-standing issues issues the league has faced. The media deal is a major win, but it doesn't change the reality of players' compensation or the ongoing struggle for gender parity in sports. While the stars of the WNBA are about to get a massive platform on USA Network, their pay still lags far behind the athletes in the NBA. This disparity has always been a source of tension. With the new media deal in place, there's an undeniable pressure on the WNBA to not just keep pace with the men's league, but to push even further into the conversation about sports equality. Meanwhile, USA Network is putting its full weight behind the WNBA, offering prime spots and coverage. The league is investing in its future, but the question arises, will these efforts be enough to keep the players from demanding more? Can this deal shift the power dynamics within the league? The escalating stakes are clear. This isn't just a TV deal. It's a crossroads for the future of the WNBA and the entire women's sports ecosystem. But with the players pushing harder for equity, the WNBA's gamble might face a backlash if it doesn't deliver beyond the screen. The tension is building, and this new partnership might just be the catalyst for a tipping point. To understand the full implications of this 11-year deal, we need to dig deeper into the specifics and look at the broader landscape.
And it's exciting to see the next generation get excited about women's sport, because that's never really happened before, unfortunately. So
surrounding the WNBA's rise. The timing couldn't be more crucial. As women's sports continue to gain traction across the globe, this deal places the WNBA in a unique position to capitalize on a growing wave of support for female athletes. However, there's more at stake here than just securing a lucrative TV deal. This is about positioning the league as a cultural force, one that deserves its place on the sports pedestal, alongside the NBA. The shift in media attention is not just a numbers game, it's about reshaping the narrative around the WNBA. By showcasing games on USA Network with high-profile broadcasts, the league isn't just hoping to grow its audience, it's aiming to change how the sport is perceived. But let's not overlook the underlying tension that comes with the WNBA's newfound spotlight. Media exposure is great, but it's just one piece of the puzzle. The league's business model, which heavily relies on TV deals, sponsorships, and gate revenues, still faces significant hurdles. The question remains, can the WNBA convert this newfound media exposure into sustainable financial growth? The answer hinges on more than just broadcasting games. It's about creating a lasting cultural movement. The WNBA must break free from the traditional financial constraints that have held it back for so long.
Well, first off, wonderful to be here with all of you, and there's not ever a question that doesn't start with growth when you talk about women's basketball right now, and I could not be more excited and proud for where our sport is.
On a cultural level, this deal signals a shift in how we view women in sports. It's no longer acceptable for women's leagues to operate in the shadows of their male counterparts. The WNBA's success could redefine how we measure sports excellence. It's not just about the size of the paycheck or the number of fans in the stands. It's about the power of exposure and how that can lead to long-term growth, not just for the league, but for the athletes who rely on it to build their careers. For fans, this deal offers an incredible opportunity to see the league rise to new heights, not only as a sports entity, but as a cultural icon that empowers women in ways we've never seen before. However, this growth doesn't come without its challenges. The increased visibility brings heightened scrutiny. There will be critics who question whether this deal is a genuine leap forward or just a flashy headline. As the WNBA steps into this new chapter, it must be ready to meet the expectations that come with this unprecedented media presence. The culture around the league will be examined as much as the product on the court. The league will need to ensure that its brand remains authentic and that its commitment to gender equity extends beyond just paying lip service. The WNBA's impact won't just be defined by the games that are aired, but by the way it transforms the lives of the athletes and the fans it serves. In the grand scheme, the WNBA's new media deal could be a catalyst for other women's sports leagues to follow suit, pushing for similar visibility and recognition. As the WNBA's reach extends to more households, the hope is that the next generation of athletes will see this as a step toward a more inclusive and equal sports world, where talent, not gender, determines success. The ripple effects of this deal could influence everything from sponsorship deals to policy changes, affecting how women's sports are perceived by sponsors. networks, and fans. The WNBA has the chance to redefine what it means to be a women's league in the 21st century. But with that opportunity comes the responsibility to not just grow, but to set the standard for equality, representation, and excellence in women's sports. The world will be watching to see if the league can capitalize on this unprecedented moment. As we wrap up, it's clear that this 11-year media rights deal, but one thing is for sure, the WNBA is no longer content with being an afterthought in the sports world. This deal marks the beginning of a cultural shift, one that could inspire future generations of women to believe that their talents are just as worthy of recognition, support, and financial investment. As fans, we must support this transformation, not just in viewership, but in pushing for continued progress on and off the court. The WNBA's future is bright, but only if it can continue to meet the moment, build on this momentum, and prove that women's sports are here to stay. This is only the beginning. The question now is, what's next for the league, and how far can it truly go? The next chapter is ours to write. Let's make sure it's one worth remembering.